your cheap, pretty young girl in your tongue. Bust them new dog, you know where people can't pull. Give them a run, son, give them a run. Give them a run, we and the girls that have done pull. Give them a run, give them a run. Give them a run, we and the girls that have done. I've been loved that before, yeah, but I've never seen a dance like this. I've been loved that before, yeah, but I don't wanna come top the list.
Yo, what is up, people? What is going on? Welcome back to another episode 4 of The Walking Dead Dead City. And I got my partner in crime here, Deej. Deej, what's up? How you doing?
It's going good, and boy, did I love episode 4.
I agree with you 100%. I thought it was amazing. Shout out your channel. Let the people know where they can find you.
You can find me over with me, Deej Odyssey, on my channel, same title, there, where I do random this and that, and gaming streams and such. And you can find me with Chris Knight, The Real Review 3000, over on Hunstar channel on Sunday nights, where we've been doing Jackbox lately, but in a few weeks, we will be starting the Name That Tune back up.
Excellent. That's where you can find Deej. His channel is in the description there. So if any of you want to go sub over there, you should go do so. And actually, let's help get him to 1,000 subs. Definitely deserves it. So this episode was episode 4, and it was called Everybody Wins a Prize. And I'm just going to go through the real plot real quick, and then we'll get into it. So episode 4, Everybody Wins a Prize. In a flashback, Negan and Simon confront the Croat over his brutal murder of a young girl. In the present, Maggie and Negan lead an attack on Madison Square Garden to rescue Hershel and kill the Croat. However, the Croat anticipates their actions and he lays a trap, evacuating his people from the area while letting in walkers and using the sound and light system to lead them into the tribespeople. Overwhelmed and outnumbered, most of the tribespeople are killed, with only Maggie, Amaia, and Tommaso and Ginny managing to escape into the sewers. Negan confronts the Croat, who joyfully greets him and tries to get Negan to join him, attempting to kill Perlie as a sign of good faith. Much to the Croat's shock, Negan saves the marshal's life and escapes with him. However, Perlie holds Negan at gunpoint, threatening him with summary execution for his crimes, despite Negan have just saved his life. So, Deej, let me hear your initial thoughts on this episode.
My initial thoughts was the flashback with Simon and Lucille sitting there in the chair. Love that. I love Steven's character, Steven. Duh. I'm kind of out of it. But hey, what can I say?
It is what it is.
That had me pumped right there for the beginning of the episode.
I agree. For me, my initial thoughts, I thought it was great. And like you said, we get that flashback at the beginning of seeing Simon again. And I was like, okay, that's good. And I said this backstage. I like when they show flashbacks, but they actually show people from the original Walking Dead show, right? I enjoy that. That's why I said when that little girl went to Maggie's farm, I was hoping we would have seen, well, it was supposed to be Hilltop, but I was hoping we would have seen some characters from The Walking Dead, but they didn't do that. But it was good to see Simon, and the fact that we had a Lucille sighting, and it's funny because later on in the episode, which we'll get to, but the Croat asked him, like, no Lucille, right? And he's like, oh, too many head beating, So I was like, yeah, kind of. But no, that's not the reason why Negan doesn't have Lucille. But what were your positives? What did you like the best about this episode?
I don't have really any negatives about this thing. It was all positive to me. This still is a good series so far. I haven't strayed from that thought. I love the trap that was laid with the explosions to let the walkers into Madison Square Garden to surround the group.
Me too. I thought that was great. And it's funny because I had a feeling, I'm like, yeah, this is a trap. Well, we already know, right? And I did say that last week that I'm like, you know, he escaped like through a certain way. It's obviously that the Croat was gonna know about it and maybe fix it or be prepared the next time, which is exactly what happened. Like he was prepared, and he let all the zombies in. I was
Well,
like,
you knew the Croat was going to be prepared, and he probably suspected that there would be a group that would come in to try to get him, and how best to wipe him out, but to blow his own gates down and let him in to finish him off.
absolutely. Which kind of shows me that they probably have a settlement somewhere already, right? So it was no big deal for them to actually lose Madison Square Garden. But they didn't even really put up much of a fight or anything. They just said, okay, you guys are coming in. Well, we're gonna trap you out here. And they had this little octagon there, and they were in that room, and zombies came in from all around. And it's funny because a lot of them died. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the tribes people that were trying to kill the Croat, like a lot of them died. And even the kind of black one that looked kind of like well, they're all homeless, but looked like a real homeless person. I was surprised that she died like right away because she was just showed up in last episode. So,
Well,
but
as we've seen, though, people show up and they don't last long in this series.
absolutely. And I think it's probably because it's only 6 parts, which is why they got to get to the point and stuff. But I really hope that we get another season of this because I and I'm like you, I don't, if I had to think of anything bad, I couldn't, right, about this
I couldn't
episode.
either, really.
Like, I don't think there's anything really bad about this episode, but I knew for some reason that the Croat was probably not going to want to kill Negan. You know what I mean? And you could tell, like, he was like, oh, hey, Negan. Like, the way he screams out his name, it's like you're my mentor. You know what I mean? And look, I built all of this just to show you that we could do it, and I like that. I thought that was
But
pretty
that whole scene also proved that he had no idea that he came to the city on Maggie's behalf.
right, right, right.
That's
And
why I couldn't say much last week because I'd already knew when you were hinting around to that, and it was like I can't tell him he hasn't seen
uh-huh,
this yet. I
uh-huh.
gotta stay quiet.
Yeah, you were right. And he figured, I guess, he could, get Negan back on track and, we'll do this and we'll actually be able to take over this city. And it's funny because even at the part where he's like, oh, you shot off my ear, but don't worry, I have another one. I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
that just shows how nuts he is.
Absolutely. And I think like I said, he thinks of Negan as a mentor. Negan seeing what he helped create. Yeah, absolutely. And there's one scene where Negan says he's kind of worried about hearing what the Croat has to say because he's not in that vibe anymore. You know what I mean? He doesn't want to hear the stuff that it was. So when you can see
So
Negan didn't trust him at
that's
all.
that's not totally the truth, though.
Go ahead.
That's not totally the truth because after seeing what Negan did in episode 2 with the knock knock, and then
Yeah.
seeing what he did to the guy when he was confronted about being wanted, still shows Negan is in that mindset that he will do whatever it takes to protect the people that he's trying to help. And right now, that's Maggie.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think he just didn't want to, you know, I guess get back into memory lanes type of stuff, right? Because he's changed, right? Negan's not that guy anymore. Negan likes to, but well, you know what? To be honest with you, Negan was always that guy. Now that I think about it, right?
Wow.
Because he was always about protecting his people. He went about it like in a vicious way at certain points, but Rick and those guys, they started that war with Negan, right? They
Yep.
killed Negan's peoples first, right? And Negan was basically like, okay, well, you guys started the war with me. I'm going to finish it. So he's always been one to want to protect his people, but he also had like 5 wives, 2 at the same time, right? So
What now? Wait a minute. If you were protecting a whole bunch of people and you could have 5 wives, would you not partake?
no, I definitely would too. But he took Dwight's wife, you know what I mean? Like he was taking people's wives as well. It wasn't like they were just single girls. Like he took Dwight's girl, man. You know? And he was basically sleeping with Dwight's girl. So yeah, he did some messed up things. But it also comes to, I guess, maybe having that amount of power where it got to his head and it was just like, okay, well, I can do whatever I want to, and that's what he did. That's what he did, you know. And even in this episode, when the Croat like grabs the marshal, and it's like, oh, you don't trust me? I'm gonna throw him over the edge. And when he seen that Negan saved him, oh, he was pissed.
Yep, he was, and that was where I had to keep my mouth shut last week too on that one because I knew if I told you that Negan saved him and what happened afterwards, that was going to spoil the whole ending. But
hmm
I don't think that's going to last that long. I think the marshal's finally going to see reason.
Well, it better not, because when the marshal pulled the weapon, I was like, oh, this guy's an idiot. I'm like, don't do that, bro. He just saved your life. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. You a lawman, but you would figure, let's get out of this situation first, and then I'll deal with you. You know what I mean? Like, what is his plan? To kill Negan right there and try and escape himself? Like, no, that's not what's gonna
Well,
happen.
he's not a good lawman anyway because he doesn't want to know the truth. He just wants to kill
Yeah, yeah,
Negan.
right. But at the same time, you guys are in a predicament. You know what I mean? The Croat will definitely kill him, like for no reason, especially if he's seen like how Negan he was towards Negan. Now you went and killed Negan before I got a chance to like try and get Negan on my side. Then the Croat would have killed the Marshal. Like I don't need you. What are you here for? So I know we've seen the trailers for the next episode, and you can
Nope,
see
I
it.
avoided.
Oh, you did? Okay,
I
so then
avoided the trailer because I want to sit there and have it all just fresh.
oh, okay. So then I won't say what
Well, you can
happened.
say it, but I seeing it now. I avoided that one.
Well, I was just saying that in the episode, you could see that him and the marshal like kind of work together. You know what I mean?
Well, you kind of figured they're going to have to. They're
Right.
going to get this done. They're all going to have to work together on who's left.
Absolutely. But I think there's gonna be because they talked about that Brazil or whatever that name is. So and you could see that um the Croat is talking to someone too. So there might be someone maybe not higher than him. Well, it kind of sounds the way he talks, it makes it seem like there is someone higher than him, but maybe he's still in charge, but he's definitely talking to someone. So there is still a group of people that we haven't seen yet, which I'm pretty sure we'll see in the next episode. So
We could be surprised and it's somebody else from Sanctuary.
oh, that would be interesting. I would like that.
Now we definitely know it's not Simon because he was killed.
Yeah,
But there were
absolutely.
still a couple of the other lesser lieutenants that could pop up just for flashbacks.
But well, remember there was a bunch of them that survived. There was a bunch of them that like tried to overthrow Maggie in The Walking Dead at that point, right?
Yep.
I believe she killed a bunch of them, but I also believe they let a bunch of them go too as well. So yeah, it could definitely be um someone from the sanctuary again too, which would be interesting. I just don't know who it would be though. You know what I mean? Like I think all the major characters. It would be good if there was someone that we think is dead. Like, oh, he was a major character and he's dead, and then we find out, oh, they're not dead, and they're in this show working with the Croat. That would be fire.
Well, there were still people from The Walking Dead that mysteriously disappeared that we never
hmm
seen of
hmm
again that could show up. I don't know.
Absolutely, one hundred
Is
percent.
whatever happened to Noah?
I don't remember.
He took off and
Yeah,
nobody ever saw him
see them
again.
again. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of them like that. So if they decide to do something like that, would make sense, right? You know, you had a sanctuary and it all got destroyed because of Rick, and now Negan is good, so you might want to try and go somewhere and build something up for yourself. Yeah, I could see that happening. I could see that happening. So,
Hell,
what else?
for all we know, it could be somebody with this the group with where we find Rick eventually.
Oh yeah. Uh, I know they had that group in. I think they had them in the Beyond
Fear.
series.
They had him in Beyond, and they briefly popped up in
In
Fear
Fear,
also.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's gonna be definitely interesting. I hope they bring a few characters back to help save Rick in that episode too. They could just focus it on Michonne and Rick, but you know, you could bring back a few. We'll see what they do on that one too. That should be interesting.
Well, since the Daryl season series is next, and the Rick and Michonne last, I kind of suspect at the very end we a bunch of the original Walking Dead cast back together
Yeah,
for the last episode.
including Morgan, because Morgan left Fear the Walking Dead to
I
go
don't
look
think
for Rick.
more. I don't think Morgan's gone quite yet.
You don't think so?
Nope, I don't think Morgan's gone quite yet.
Huh. That would be interesting because the way they made it seem like he was gone for the rest of the season, and then I watched that little insider that they show after, and they were all talking about, oh, it's sad to see him go. So
I
I
think
don't.
that might be a misdirect.
I hope so because I was like, you can't just have Morgan gone like this and you still have episodes. You know what I mean? Like at least give him till the end of the season, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's a series finale. I seriously don't think he's gone yet.
Yeah, I agree with you. I hope not. I really do, because I like Morgan's character. But I do think that Morgan will probably show up at the end of the um Michonne and
Yeah, I
Rick
think at the
series.
end of that we'll see Carol, we'll see Daryl, we'll
Yeah,
see King Ezekiel. I think we'll see them all at the end.
isn't there a Morgan Telltale game coming out? I don't know. It's possible. I know they have a Michonne one, so they have
Yeah.
a few over there.
I
But
have the Michonne one. I have the other ones.
I
I haven't
played
heard
the
of them.
Michonne one once, but I wasn't. I was just like, man, it's okay.
Yeah,
So,
the thing was, it was too short.
oh, was it?
It wasn't that long of a game, and I think I beat it in less than 2 hours.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I see. I didn't play it that long. I played like maybe 5 or 10 minutes of it. Well, it was on Game Pass for free, and I will go back to it, and then they took it off of Game Pass. So,
I
but
bought that sucker when it first came out, added it to my collection.
nice, nice. What else do we see in this episode? Um,
Well, we
so
see Maggie's going to get her ass in trouble too.
absolutely, 100%. Because you could see at one point Maggie looked like she was looking out for herself, right? And then
Yep.
she ended up going back and saving the little girl. But at one point she like thought about, you know what, I'm gonna escape. I don't know how they escaped all those zombies. That was crazy. But there was
Well,
a
half of them got blew up when he originally blew the doors open.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean the ones that came in, there was a lot. You
There,
know,
there, were, there was a nice little callback to the prison scene when they were in the octagon, stabbing through the fence at
defense,
him.
yeah. Oh, that would be one thing that I think I would say if I had to find dislike. I'm like, why the hell didn't you guys go into the octagon first? That would have been the first place we would have went into. I wouldn't have needed to see that little girl go in there to be like, hey, let's go in here. You know what I mean? I would have went in there right away. As soon as all those zombies came in, you go in there and you just start chopping off their heads through the fence like they did, right? And then not only that, they ended up getting that little padding, which actually kind of helped, but didn't because that black one got eaten real quick.
Well, they just wanted to keep the cast low and small for 6 episodes.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that because if you put too much in there, then it kind of waters it down and you don't get enough Negan and Maggie stuff because they're still, I believe, like in the next two episodes, they're still gonna have to bond, right? They still haven't had that real bonding moment yet. and I believe that's coming up soon.
I don't think there's going to be a big bonding moment.
You don't think so?
Nope. And I think as soon as Negan finds out that Maggie pretty much knew the kid was there in the city and didn't tell him when she originally went out to burn that stuffed animal.
Yeah, yeah, that might be an issue for Negan. But the fact that she actually looked out for the kid might change that too, right? I don't know. I think Negan's gonna be the one to save Hershel, and then she's actually saved the girl. So there might be some sort of bonding, but we'll see. I don't know. I think there might be. The Marshall character, I think he's gonna be a major role in the last two episodes, right? I don't think he's gonna die, and I think maybe he might realize that the way we're doing things is not correct, and because they raped they raped his girl, you know what I mean? And the guy's trying to kill Negan for Negan getting revenge. So hopefully he
I,
comes to his senses too. I
I
like that
still
character.
wonder. I still wonder how this group got so much power though with the Commonwealth around. I just
Maybe
don't understand that one.
maybe we'll get something towards that because I agree with you 100%. It's just like 5 years later, and all of a sudden there's this new Babylon, and they're running things, and they have marshals now, and they're executing people. Which, if they're executing people like that, it doesn't. I mean, they're no
That
better
would,
than actually Negan was, right?
yeah, and that wouldn't set well with King Ezekiel and the Commonwealth. They would have been
Absolutely.
trying to do something that I just that one's hard to explain.
Yeah.
If there's a dislike I have about the series so far, it's the whole New Babylon part.
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. Because if they're so against Negan and the stuff that he's done, then you would probably be a little bit more lenient and not want to execute people. Like they're talking about executing him, like you know, for little minor things, like he
Yeah,
got
with
executed.
no trials. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
you don't know if something actually happened or not.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So I think they're gonna change that. I think Negan's gonna help with that. Maybe the marshal will see, oh well, this is not the way we're supposed to do things, because that's what it should be.
And are we going to find out what happened Negan's wife and kid after he sent them out to Missouri? That's the whole question too.
Mm-hmm. one hundred
Now
percent.
that might give you a season two of Negan going to look for them.
That would be good. That would be good. And what? Maybe Maggie helping him. You can keep Maggie in the series there, I guess. And him and Maggie are going to look for them, maybe to start a new community or something.
Or maybe Morgan?
Yeah, Morgan too.
Because Morgan's been out that way all over the place.
Absolutely.
He would be better to know what's happening out there and explain, yeah, we've had atomic bombs dropped all over the place out here. It's not a good place.
Yeah. Yeah. Morgan and Negan, I think they would have a pretty good show together, to be honest with you. I think they would have a pretty good show together. I would be interested in seeing that.
Because I just don't see him wrapping up the whole Negan and wife thing in the last episode.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither.
Unless they just have Negan wandering off by himself, and that's the last we see of him. I don't know.
I agree. I agree. It makes sense that, like I said, that if they do another season, then they explain that, or they explain more of New Babylon, because they introduce stuff that I don't think you can explain in 6 episodes, right? Like you said, New Babylon, stuff like that. You can't explain that stuff in 6 episodes. You got to do a couple of seasons, show some flashbacks of how to New Babylon came around. So I would like them to do something like that.
We also may have to wait to see how the Daryl and the Rick and Michonne series play out to know what they're going to do next for a series.
I agree. I agree. And I'm guessing Rick and Darrow's probably going to be another 6-parter too. I'm not. I know it could be a series, but I don't know, the way they're going, it seems like they just want to do these little short ones off to close off stories that maybe we didn't have answers to yet.
Yeah, but they gave us more stories that we don't have.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree. Well, I don't know.
That's why I kind of like the anthology series that was out
Yeah, I like that
for a
too.
while.
Yeah, I
The
like
short
that.
little just one episode things were kind of funny, especially the time
The which
thing,
one?
Groundhog Day one
Oh
where
yeah,
the
yeah,
two chicks kept dying and they'd restart the day over. That was
yeah.
kind of funny.
It was, but the problem that I had with that one is it kind of takes away from Walking Dead lore. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
but it was.
The best one was with Terry Crews though.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. And I like the one with shoot, what's his name there? The Washington guy.
Yeah, that one wasn't bad either.
That one was pretty good too. But yeah. Okay, so anything else on this episode that we didn't talk about?
No, I think we've kind of ran the whole gambit on there. We just have to wait until tomorrow night to figure out what happens with Negan, the sheriff, Maggie, and the girl, and the other remainder of the groups, and the Croat, and figure out who the heck he's talking to.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Can't wait for that. So, what do you give this episode? What's your grade? And let's give us predictions for the last two episodes. Then.
I'm holding it an A minus for this one because there's still none that can beat episode 2 with Knock Knock.
I agree. Unless we get something, I don't know. I think maybe in the last episode we just get one part where Negan goes full Negan, or maybe he starts to, and Maggie has to wheel him back in, or maybe Negan. I'm sorry, Maggie goes full Negan, and Negan has to like wheel her in. You know, that would be interesting.
I don't know. It could be interesting if the Croat shows up with a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire to try to tantalize Negan.
Oh yeah, that would be good. With
Seal 2.0.
a new Lucille. Yeah, that would be fire. That would be fire. All right, so I'm gonna give this episode. I want to be like you. I'm gonna give it an A2 as well, an A plus. I do think that that episode with Negan, episode 2, was better than this because anytime Negan goes full Negan, it doesn't really get no better than that.
Yeah, that's why that's the only one I can give an A plus to. Everything else has to say A minuses or A's because it just can't get any better than that one.
I agree. I'm right there with you. Yeah, I gave it a plus. No, I'm gonna give it an A minus with you too as well, right? Because that's the best episode. Hopefully, the next episodes are just as good, but we will see. We'll be back next Tuesday, guys, for episode 5, and then the following Tuesday after that for the final episode of this series. Deej, shout out your channel one last time.
I'm Deej. You can find me over on mine, Deej Odyssey, where I'm just, well, actually, lately I've been killing zombies. So there's that. And I'll be on Star's channel with the Real Review 3000, Chris Knight, playing Jackbox, and soon, name that tune.
Absolutely. And I'm not sure if Chris will ever bring the Rumble back, but if he does, you guys make sure to check out for that as well. Tomorrow night will be the OOC, like always on a Wednesday night. So check that out. And we are outie. We will see you next week. Peace, guys. Thanks for watching. And Deej, thank you for coming in. Much appreciated.
Thank you for the invite.
Not a problem. Peace.